Italy is one of the leading countries in fashion design, alongside others such as France, USA, United Kingdom, Germany and Japan. Fashion has always been an important part of the country's cultural life and society, and Italians are well known for their attention of dressing up well. La bella figura, or good impression, remains. Traditional Italian design became prominent during the 11th–16th centuries, when artistic development in Italy was at its peak. Cities such as Palermo, Venice, Milan, Naples, Florence and Vicenza started to produce luxury goods, hats, cosmetics, jewelry and rich fabrics. During the 17th early 20th centuries, Italian fashion lost its importance and luster, and Europe's main trendsetter became France. With the great popularity of French fashion, this is due to the luxury dresses which were designed for the courtiers of Louis XIV. However, since the 1951–53 fashion soirées held by Giovanni Battista Giorgini in Florence, the Italian school started to compete with the French haute couture, and labels such as Ferragamo and Gucci began to contend with Chanel and Dior. In 2009, according to the Global Language Monitor, Milan, Italy's center of design, was ranked the top fashion capital of the world, and Rome was ranked fourth, and, despite both cities fell down places in subsequent rankings, in 2011, Florence entered as the 31st world fashion capital. Milan is generally considered to be one of the Big Four global fashion capitals, along with New York City, Paris, and London. Occasionally, the Big Five also includes Rome. Italian fashion can be also connected to the most generalized concept of Made in Italy, a sort of merchandise brand expressing excellence of creativity and craftsmanship. Italian luxury goods are renowned for the high quality of their own textiles and the perfect elegance and refinement that goes into making them up, as well as for the guarantee of quality materials. Many French, British and American high-top luxury brands also refer to Italian craft factories, located in highly specialized productive districts, especially in the center-north of Italy, to produce either part of their apparel and accessories. The non-profit Making Association, which disciplines, coordinates and promotes the development of Italian fashion, is the National Chamber of Italian Fashion, now headed by Carlo Capassar. It was set up in 1958 in Rome and now is settled in Milan and represents all the highest cultural values of Italian fashion. This association has pursued a policy of organizational support aimed at the knowledge, promotion and development of fashion through events with a highly intellectual image in Italy and abroad. Italian fashion houses and luxury brands. Examples of major Italian fashion houses focused on both menswear and womenswear, but also accessories, are Armani, Biblos Milano, Bottega Veneta, Roberto Cavalli, Costume National, Brunello Cucinelli, Dolce & Gabbana, D²², Etro, Fendi, Salvatore Ferragamo, Genny, Gucci, Hogan, Iceberg, Chiton, La Perla, Loro Piana, Marni, Antonio Maris, Missoni, Moncler, Moschino, Prada, John Richmond, Jill Sander, Ermina Scavino, Trussardi, Valentino, Versace and Tod's, to name the most significant. Examples of major fashion brands which are specialized mainly at womenswear are Agnona, Luisa Beccaria, Laura Biagiotti, Blue Marine, Alberta Ferretti, Jamba, Crisia, Max Mara, Miu, Philosophy, Emilio Pucci and Simonetta Ravizza, whilst luxury houses which focus only on menswear and accessories for men are Brioni, Canali, Caruso, Corneliani, Lardini, MP Massimo Piombo, Stefano Ricci, Ermenegildo Zegna and Palzilleri. Among the newest labels or younger designers, the most prominent are Aquilano, Raimondi, Auger, Cristiano Burana, Gabriele Colangelo, County of Milan, Marco da Vincenzo, Elisabetta Franchi, Stella Jean, Leitmotif, Atos Lombardini, Angelo Morani, MSGM, M Degree 21, Christian Pellizzeri, Andrea Pompilio, Fausto Puglisi, San Andres Milano, Francesco Scognamiglio. Other luxury labels which are mainly focused on the production of leather goods such as accessories, especially shoes, are Acquisora, Baldini, Ballon, Bruno Bordus, Roberto Botticelli, René Caovilla, Cassidy, Alberto Guardiani, Gianmarco Lorenzi, Lori Blue, Bruno Mali, Vic Mathieu, Moreschi, Alberto Moretti, Cesare Paciotti, Pollini, Fratelli Rossetti, Gianvito Rossi, Sergio Rossi, Santoni, Testoni, Giuseppe Zanotti design, while fashion brands or labels which produce primarily bags, totes, suitcases are Bertoni, Bourbonese, Braccialini, Chromia, Fedon, Furla, Gherardini, Mandarina Duck, Picadro, Serapion, The Bridge, Valextra, Zagliani and Zanellita. Italy also is home to many fashion magazines, such as Vogue Italia, Vanity Fair, Elle, Glamour, Grazia, Amica, Flair, Gioia. Other Italian accessory and jewelry brands, such as Luxottica, Marcolin, Dorigo, Safilo, Damiani, Venier, Pomellato, Morellita, Officine Panerai and BVL Gari are amongst the most important in the world. Modern history. Fashion in Italy started to become the most fashionable in Europe since the 11th century, and powerful cities of the time, such as Venice, Milan, Florence, Naples, Vicenza and Rome began to produce robes, jewelry, textiles, shoes, fabrics, ornaments and elaborate dresses. Italian fashion reached its peak during the Renaissance, as Italy is widely recognized as the cradle and birthplace of the Renaissance. Art, music, education, finance and philosophy flourished, and along with it, Italian fashion designs became very popular. After a decline in the 17th to mid-20th century, the nation returned to being a leading nation in fashion, and Florence was Italy's fashion capital in the 50s and 60s, from the very first high fashion parade at the Sala Bianca of the Pitti Palace in 1951, with names such as Emilio Schubert, Emilio Pucci, Sorel Fontana, Simonetta, Milachorn, Fausto Sali, whilst Milan led the way in the 70s and 80s, with their new labels, such as Armani, Dolce & Gabbana, Gianfranco Ferré, Romeo Gigli, Crizia, Missoni, Moschino, Luciano Soprani, Trussardi and Versace, and opening up and setting up their first boutiques and emporia. Until the 1970s, Italian fashion was mainly designed for the rich and famous, more or less like the French haute couture. Yet, in the 1970s and 80s, Italian fashion started to concentrate on ready-to-wear clothes, such as coats, jackets, trousers, shirts, jeans, jumpers and miniskirts. Milan became more affordable and stylish for shoppers, and Florence was deposed of its position as the Italian fashion capital and replaced by Rome, which grew in importance as high fashion pole in the country thanks to the creations of Valentino, Fendi, Roberto Capucci, Renato Balestra and Gattinoni. Today, Milan and Rome are Italy's fashion capitals, and are major international centers for fashion design, competing with other cities such as Tokyo, Los Angeles, London, Paris and New York. Also, other cities such as Venice, Florence, Naples, Vicenza, Bologna, Genoa and Turin are important centers. The country's main shopping districts are the Via Monte Napoleon Fashion District and the Galleria Vittorio Emanuele, Via dei Condotti, and Via de Tornabuoni. Cities. Italian fashion is dominated by Milan, Rome, and to a lesser extent, Florence, with the former two being included in the top 30 fashion capitals of the world. Nonetheless, there are numerous other cities which play an important role in Italian fashion. Milan. In 2009, Milan was regarded as the world fashion capital, even surpassing New York, Paris, Rome and London. In 2011, Milan was ranked number 4, behind London, New York, and Paris. Many of the major Italian fashion brands, such as Valentino, Versace, Prada, Armani, Costume National, Marni, Iceberg, Missoni, Trussardi, Moschino, Dirk Bickenbergs, Etro, Zegna and Dolce & Gabbana, are currently headquartered in the city. International fashion labels also operate shops in Milan, including an Abercrombie & Fitch flagship store which has become a main consumer attraction. Milan also hosts a fashion week twice a year, just like other international centers such as Paris, London and New York. Milan's main upscale fashion district is the Quadrilatero della Moda, where the city's most prestigious shopping streets are held. The Galleria Vittorio Emanuele II, the Piazza del Duomo, Via Dante and Corso Buenos Aires are other important shopping streets and squares. Florence is regarded by some as the birthplace and earliest center of the modern fashion industry in Italy. The Florentine soirees of the early 1950s, organized by Giovanni Battista Giorgini, were events where several now famous Italian designers participated in group shows and first garnered international attention. Florence has served as the home of the Italian fashion company Salvatore Ferragamo since 1928. Gucci, Roberto Cavalli, Ermina Scavino, Stefano Ricci, Patricia Pepe, Enrico Covari and Emilio Pucci were also founded, and most of them are still headquartered in Florence. Other major players in the fashion industry such as Prada and Chanel have large offices and stores in Florence or its outskirts. Florence's main upscale shopping street is Via de Tornabuoni, where major luxury fashion houses and jewelry labels, such as Armani and Bulgari, have their elegant boutiques. Via del Para and Via Roma are the streets that are also well known for their high-end fashion stores. Rome is widely recognized as a world fashion capital. Although not as important as Milan, Rome is the world's fourth most important center for fashion in the world, according to the 2009 Global Language Monitor, after Milan, New York and Paris, and beating London. Major luxury fashion houses and jewelry chains, such as Valentino, Bulgari, Fendi, Laura Biagiotti, Gattinoni and Brioni, just to name a few, are headquartered or were founded in the city. Also, other major labels, such as Chanel, Prada, Dolce & Gabbana, Armani and Versace have luxury boutiques in Rome, primarily along its prestigious and upscale Via dei Condotti. Other cities, although Milan, Rome and Florence are commonly regarded as the leading cities in Italian fashion, other cities, such as Venice, Vicenza, Turin, Naples and Bologna, are also important centers for Italian clothing design and industry. Venice, for instance, is the home of Italian fashion house Roberta di Camerino, which was founded in 1945. The brand is famous for its handbags, and is most notably associated with the creation of the It bag, a form of handbag which is recognizable due to its status symbol. Brands such as Max Mara and United Colors of Benetton, despite being major Italian brands, are not headquartered in Milan, Rome or Florence, yet. The former has its headquarters in Reggio Emilia, and the latter in Ponzano Veneto. Italian holding OTB held by Renzo Rosso, owner of different ready-to-wear brands such as Diesel and also fashion houses like Manni. Dutch label Victor and Rolf and Belgian Maison Martin Margiela is headquartered in the countryside near Vicenza in the region of Veneto. Italian companies Cesare Paciotti and also Tod's, owned by businessman Diego Della Valle, are headquartered in the region of Marche, a very important manufacturing district for shoes and leather components in the Adriatic coast. Fashion house Fabiana Filippi and Brunello Cucinelli's home is the region of Umbria, and luxury brands Kyton and Harmont and Blaine's headquarters is Naples.